a dash of lesbian.
Discover unexpected recipes for growth and love
by exploring all the flavors of the rainbow.
Welcome home, dolls.
Welcome to the Daily Dose. This is Helmut Lucero Domagolski.
Hey, it's your girl Clay.
And this is Catherine Kruger.
Hey y'all, this is Tiana. This episode is brought to you by AHF, where you can find all of your gay healthcare needs. You can find them at ahf.org.
If you're interested in sponsorship, email us at marketing@thegailydose.com.
That's right, dolls. We're so excited today to bring you a dash of lesbian with this episode called A Dose of Healthy Sex Life. We have two really great guests for you. We are excited as can be. A Dose of Healthy Sex Life. All right, dolls. So today we have a really great opportunity to meet our guests. We have with us Meka, Nicole, and we also have Madison, Klimas. How are you, ladies?
Welcome.
How are you? Thank you for having us.
Oh, we're so happy to have you. Can you tell us, our dolls, a little bit about yourself?
Hello, I am Meka Nicole. I am a sex educator and therapist. I provide counseling and intimacy coaching to couples experiencing dullness in their sex lives. I am also an educator for sex shows. I do burlesque shows called the Sex and Sensuality Burlesque Show, and I have a podcast. Yes, I love it. So much fun, so sexy, make women feel confident, and they just love it. And then I also have a podcast based on that burlesque show called Sex and Sensuality, the podcast, where we speak what your dirty mind thinks.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about sex.
Get your own, what's that show called? Fatal Attraction, is that what it is?
Oh yes, I've been on Fatal Attraction, For My Man, and Snapped.
Oh wow, we got a personality up in here. Madison.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Madison Klimas. I am new-ish to Atlanta. I've been here for about 4 years, and I just started my own hair business here. So I've been doing hair for about 17 years. So glad to bring that to Atlanta now.
We're so glad to have you.
I have to check your shop out.
For sure.
So we are talking today about healthy sex life. And so we want to start off with just the question, what is a healthy sex life? Anyone want to start?
What is a healthy sex life?
I think for me, a healthy sex life is being able to express yourself sexually in any way that you want to, being confident and honest, and having a partner, whether it's a partner that you just occasionally have sex with, or your husband or wife or whoever, that you can go to and talk to about your desires and needs.
Yeah, absolutely. And having a partner that is able to hear those things and really execute them.
Yeah.
Well.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
And with that too, you have to make your partner feel comfortable with coming to you about asking what it is that they want, because some people are still going to feel rejected. And they're, even with being with someone for a long period of time, they still feel rejected when coming to their partner asking or telling them what it is that they want sexually. And I know for me, sometimes it's difficult to say, well, baby, I want something.
That's how you do it?
It's hard for me to say the words. I don't know why it's hard for me to say I want sex.
What you want.
Yeah.
There's so much shame put on sex in our culture.
It is a lot of shame, and I think we just have to find different ways to say it. So maybe come up with your code word for your wife. Yeah, like pineapple tonight, or put some panties on the door. Something creative,
Right?
To signal.
Put some panties on the door. Got too many kids in the house. Put panties on the door.
Well, maybe be on the inside of your door.
I think the other part though is, don't you have to both be committed to giving and receiving? I think that sometimes we have these associations with roles, where we're like, one role is supposed to do this, the other one's supposed to do this, when I feel like being gay, you kind of throw that out.
Yeah. I think in any relationship, you should throw that out, whether it's gay or heterosexual, because we all have different needs. You just never know what your partner may need, and your partner should feel confident enough to say, like, when you think about a straight man that likes pegging, Do y'all know
Yeah.
what pegging
No,
is?
what's pegging? I don't know. What's
It's
pegging? I don't know. What's
It's
pegging?
when a man wants to be penetrated anally, by his girlfriend or wife.
Yeah.
And men aren't made to feel confident enough heterosexual men aren't made to feel confident enough to talk about that. So being able to say, hey, I want to be pegged, is something.
Yeah.
So I think those roles, I think it matters no matter what relationship you're in.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's just like the gender roles in America. We get very fixated on what women should like and should do, and what men should like and should do, and breaking those and just being who you are, I think is super important in a healthy sex life.
Do you think we're more focused on sex because we're gay, or less so, or equally as our straight counterparts?
I had one last thing to say, if y'all don't mind.
Oh yeah.
About healthy sex life. Another part of having a healthy sex life is protecting yourself sexually. So using condoms, taking your STD test, being on a long-acting birth control. I always encourage that for women, especially women who, freely have sex. So, make sure you're on a long-acting birth control. So protecting yourself is the number one way to have a healthy sex life.
Period.
Absolutely.
Period.
Back to the gay. So what do you think? Are we more focused on sex than our other counterparts equally?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. I feel like stereotypically women are less focused on sex, which is not true, but
Right.
I think it's you are who you are. You like what you like. You either are super sexual, moderately sexual, not sexual at all, and all of those things are okay. It's everybody's different, but I don't think that it has anything to do with being gay, personally.
Yeah,
But I think
agree.
stereotypically too, people tend to think that because we're gay and lesbians that we have a lot of sex,
Yeah.
and that's all that it's about.
Yep.
And it's not. It's really not.
It's
We
really
really
not.
just be chill.
Yeah.
We have families, we got jobs, we have bills to pay. We can't have sex all day.
Right.
But I think
I mean, we could.
we could.
Yes,
we
we
could. But a lot of people aren't.
Not every day.
But I do feel like I think that society is focused on sex a lot because sex is in every single thing that we're doing. You can't even watch a commercial these days about gum without it being something sexual or perfume. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
We're inundated by it.
And it's also our fault for responding to it the way that we do, because we clearly do respond to it.
Yeah.
Do you
Sex
guys
sells.
go ahead?
Well, and I think too, from a society perspective, it's always interesting to me that when someone is talking to a heterosexual couple and they meet them, they don't think about them having sex at all. They don't ask them questions like that. But a lot of times when people are speaking to a gay couple or a lesbian couple, it's the first thing that comes to mind. It's why are we talking about my sex life right now? I mean, it's fine, but
Who's the man in the bedroom? What?
exactly.
Yeah.
What does that matter? I don't know. Nobody.
And you know what? That happens in the gay and the lesbian community.
Yeah.
They ask us that too.
I came on to my sister who did so beautifully with the whole thing, but she was struggling to land the plane, to wrap up this beautiful Full House moment between the two of us.
Sure.
And she chose to just say, I'm just gonna treat you like a regular person. I'm not even gonna ask about the scissoring. She made the hand gesture. Hand gesture.
So awkward.
I'm so thankful
sweet
no one
sister.
asked about my sex life in my family. I would die.
I want to walk into a straight couple and say, so do you like pegging?
Somebody turn that around.
What do you do with different libidos in a relationship? How do you traverse that?
Oh, goodness.
I mean, I go ahead. You go first.
Oh, I was just going to say that I have this question a lot with my couples on how to handle the libido issue. And I just say one of the best things you could do is really play to other areas of intimacy in your life. Like being able to cuddle, hold hands, have that emotional intimacy where you can sit and talk to each other and love on each other and feel just safe with that person. Because I feel like those things make a really big difference in getting you to a point where you are becoming more sexual with each other because you're developing that bond with each other. So making sure those other areas of intimacy, emotional, spiritual, financial, mental and physical are being taken care of first.
And I totally agree with that. Because, hell, sometimes I be tired. And I just want to get in the bed and cuddle or rub on my wife's booty or something like that. I don't want to do too much work tonight. So that intimacy is good. That intimacy is good. Like just loving on her, uplifting her, motivating her, supporting her, speaking those words of life into her. That's a form of intimacy that we practice a lot. And sometimes I feel like sometimes in relationships, sex confuses things. So if you remove the sex, you have nothing in your relationship. You know what I mean? So it's important to work on those things that are intimate in your relationship. So if your sex life is not on point, you still have that foundation up under it.
Absolutely.
So that's important.
Preach.
And then sometimes it may not,
Seriously.
like that's really good. And sometimes it may not be like about the actual penetration. If we go back to that penetration or like where y'all both have to like have the whole physical thing, like maybe it could just be oral sex. If your libido is a little low, maybe give your partner oral sex. That can help with the process. Just doing something to show them that you care and are interested and still desire them. Because it doesn't mean you don't desire your partner.
Right. Well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I feel like communication is the biggest piece of balancing out when you have someone who runs really hot and someone who maybe is more moderate in what their sex needs are, and being able to find the language to talk about it and feel safe enough to talk about it and be like, both of these needs are valid and let's work together to make sure everybody's satisfied and well rested, whatever it is that you need. Right?
Well, it's true though. What we touched on basically, there's many forms of love besides just the physical, and there's many forms of physical besides just the full act.
That's right.
So
Definitely.
I think that's always been our issue because she's always been more sexual than me, and then I started getting more sexual as I got older, and now she's not as sexual. So it's like we are, and I think now we're on the same level to where we're both cold.
Well, we're gonna find out more at Pillow Talk, I'm sure. Well, a final question for this section is really just around advice for any of our single ladies and gentlemen out there. What do you think makes a good, healthy sex life for a single person?
I think as a single person, I think that number one, masturbation, super, super, super important for so many reasons. I know like as I've gotten older, the things that I like have changed. And some of the ways I've discovered that is masturbating. And if you don't have a sexual partner at the time, like how else are you going to know? It's in my 30s now, I think there are things that I really enjoy that I used to like not really care about. And I'm like, interesting. So I think like knowing your own body and knowing like what you like
100%.
is always going to make sex with anybody else a trillion times better. For sure.
I love that you said that. I think a lot of people, they see masturbation as so taboo, but it's such a good form of self-care and a way for you to really get to like know your body, know yourself, and then be able to tell somebody. Have a quick story. So I have a story for everything, but this is my quick story. So I discovered that I have like a little fetish, and I like my underarms licked. Like,
Interesting. Meka Nicole.
Oh my God. Well, because I was masturbating and I don't know how I was like rubbing on myself, and I was like, ooh, this feels kind of good. And so I asked my partner at the time, I was like, can you please just like lick right there? And so she was like, sure. So she licked right there, and it was like, oh my God, I had the biggest orgasm, but anyway.
Wow.
That's a new level. That's a new level.
Spend that time with yourself.
Okay. Spending time with yourself.
Quality
is so important.
time.
Yeah, it's always part of my self-care days.
Well, on that note, spend time masturbating and try to lick your armpits.
Tarot and crystals and stars, oh my, it's a metaphysical moment. Hi dolls, and welcome to A Metaphysical Moment with Madam KK. We're going to get our little candle lit here, set the mood, call in all of the highest vibes as we do. Hope y'all are having an amazing week. We're going to be doing a poll today, and asking the question, how do I connect to my highest self this month? Which, when we're calling in our highest self, sometimes that looks like, how do I let things go? How do I call things in? It's really just a matter of the energetics. And I love using tarot as a tool to connect with spirit. No matter whether you are someone who is spiritual or not, it's just a tool that can be used to connect to your energy, the energy for another, or the collective. So here we go. What is going to help us connect to our highest self this month? And we have the 7 of Cups. Ooh, and it was the 7 of Cups inverted. The energy of the 7 of Cups is you're being presented a lot of options. If you can see on the card here, there's all these cups, 7 of them, and they have a bunch of different options in there. And we're being told, you know, even though you can do everything, it doesn't mean you should do everything. So let's look at the options in front of us, do a little culling, a little cutting out of maybe what doesn't fit anymore, what doesn't match where we're at. Maybe you've up-leveled. Maybe some things you used to really spend a lot of time and energy and aren't bringing life anymore. Let them go. You know, you don't have to hang on to all of these things. And when we can do that and you clear space, like if you look, each of these cups is holding something. When you empty that cup, it creates the space for something new to come in. So if you're also trying to create something new, build something new, and it hasn't happened yet, let's try and remove something, clear that space, and then wait and see. I bet that that new element is going to present itself just in time. Love you, dolls. Have an amazing month, and we'll see you next time. Gather round, ladies. It's Sister Circle.
Hey dolls, welcome to this episode of Sister Circle. Today we are going to be discussing the stereotypes in the lesbian community. So ladies, what are some of the stereotypes that you guys hear every day in the lesbian community?
Well, I know one that I have definitely encountered was, and I do come from kind of a religious background, and so people have had a hard time when I've come out and said, I am attracted to women and that's what's best for me. I'm also a sexual assault survivor. And so the people that know that, when we really got down into conversation, genuinely said, you know, I just wonder if that hadn't happened to you, if you would be attracted to women. And I know I can understand why their mind goes there, especially if you've marinated in a culture that kind of carries that. But I am delighted to say that I just feel like it was a long time coming. No boyfriends in high school for me. It just took me a long time to figure it out. I think because it wasn't ever modeled to me, women dating women. It was like I was a little slow on the uptake that this would be a better fit for me. And even though I've had that experience, I do not think it at all is why I'm attracted to women. I'm attracted to women because that's what's appealing to me.
Right. Yeah, well, and I think like society does that to anything that is outside of the norm. It's just like people that work in the sex industry, they assume the same thing about them, which is that they had some sort of traumatic experience, and that put them in the sex industry. But like, some people just want to be in the sex industry. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but that is definitely like a stereotype of like, I feel like anything, especially with women outside of the norm.
I think that's one of the first things that you hear when you coming out as a woman, as a lesbian, is the first question that's asked, what guy did you wrong? You never had any good penis in your life that'll change your way. You know, everybody thinks that they can change a lesbian.
I can change you back. Back to what?
Well, I know I come from, I always say, the heterosexual world, and I entered lesbian land. I've had great penis, you know, but I still just prefer vagina. Just whatever.
It's been a long time, but same.
So what are some other stereotypes that we hear in the lesbian community that you could think of?
I think the other thing that people normally, they like to say, masculine women want to be men. And that is not true at all. I know a lot of masculine women that are very feminine as well. They have feminine tendencies. They know that they're a woman. They love being a woman. And just because they dress masculine does not mean that they want to be a man. Come on now.
Yeah.
Look at my wife.
And I was gonna say, I definitely speak to that because I am masculine presenting. I don't think anything is feminine in my tendencies, but I don't want to be a man. I absolutely love being a woman. I identify as a woman. I love everything about being a woman. I love a woman so much that I married one.
I mean, can you get no,
Yeah, my wife is the same. She's masculine presenting, but sometimes she's more girly than me, so it's definitely a huge stereotype that's not true.
Yeah. But then you do have some masculine women that are very, very masculine, that want to be men, and they consider themselves touch-me-nots. What the hell is a touch-me-not? And why do you want to be not touched?
I think to me that sounds like probably some like gender dysphoria happening, where somebody is just really not super comfortable in the gender that they're in. And so like the act of physical touch is like really bringing to light those parts of themselves that they don't feel comfortable with. So I think that's kind of like where that comes
a good
from
point.
For sure.
And two, they've also, some masculine identified women have, and who are touch-me-nots, have internalized heteronormative views. So it's like, well, I'm not supposed to get head, I'm supposed to just use my strap and that's it. Don't touch me down there. I don't even want to know I have a vagina. I'd rather just have my strap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I dated one like that and it was so hard. I was like, well, what was the point of me being a lesbian?
True.
If I cannot do what I like to do to a lesbian.
I think that goes to show why it's so important to figure out what we tie to belonging, because if your gender is something that you are in relationship with and working through how you are connected to your gender and also your sexual attraction, if there is like heavy shame that is tied to that includes survival needs, belonging, love, care, you're going to have discord, you're going to have negative impacts.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
I didn't realize we had so many myths and so many stereotypes.
Yeah.
In the LGBT community. Can you think of any more?
Yeah, I think that the U-Haul stereotype
That's a big favorite, maybe number one.
Is a big one. I think that it is a stereotype for a reason. I think it definitely happens. I could not be further removed from that. It's actually like the scariest thing in the world to me. I'm like, oh no. Like, let's do this for years before you ever move in with me.
Will you tell the dolls what the stereotype of the U-Haul lesbian is?
Sure, yeah. So the stereotype is that girls will go on a date with each other and like by the second date they're renting a U-Haul and moving all their things into their new partner's house that they barely know. And I think that definitely does happen.
Yes.
I don't think it happens quite that way or as often as people make it seem like it does.
It doesn't happen as
much
often anymore. But it has been a really, really big thing. I just finished a session with a couple who they met and then like 90 days later they were married.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they did the whole move in.
Deep anxiety.
It happened.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, so the other one that I have is lesbians being friends with their exes. And it is something that really shocked me. I mean, I feel like it happens. It's a stereotype, but it does really happen. It shocked me because, again, when I entered lesbian land, it was very, different, just being around females all the time. But every ex that I've had are friends with their exes. And that's been so hard for me to, like, really... now, and my wife is too. So that's been hard for me to really like grasp a hold of that because I'm like, well, how can you be friends with your ex? Like when I was with men, I'm like, I'm tearing up pictures, I'm throwing away letters. Like I don't to be with you. I don't want to see you, talk to you ever again in my life.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about my exes, my female exes now. So it's still a hard concept for me. Mm-hmm. But I also had to recognize my own insecurities and my own fears surrounding my wife being friends with her exes. Yeah. Because there's nothing happening. Right. You know, they're like exes from 10, 15, 20 years ago. So. Yeah.
And so I believe that you can be friends with exes. Yeah. I think I'm cool with all of my exes. But what I've done in my relationship is I've had them establish a relationship with my wife as well, because I'm not going to talk to another female, whether it be an ex or just a random friend, and my wife doesn't have a relationship with them as well. So once I built that foundation for her to feel comfortable with that person, then we all can get along.
I'm like me and her ex-wife are like
the best of friends.
You know, we spend holidays together, we hang out. I mean, we talk on the phone. That's my homie. You know, so, and I've never really had the opportunity to just be friends with any of my ex-girlfriends without them being disrespectful. So this one was, but I knew I could do it, you know, because I'm just like, that's an ex, y'all have kids together. Why can't we all just be one big old happy family?
Yeah, see, that's different, especially when they have kids. Because you do not stop being a family with someone when you have kids just because y'all break up. Right. So I can definitely understand that, but I'm friends with 2 of my wife's exes. Now, we ain't hanging out. But they can come over, you know, we have a party, or I'll invite them to the birthday party. You know, but it's one of them girls just shady, so and that's the one that cannot come around at all.
So Meka Nicole said no to the friends. But that was definitely great conversation, ladies. I feel like y'all gave some really great clarity on the stereotypes that we see in the LGBT community. So Dials, I hope that this conversation helped you understand and break the stigma around those topics that we discussed.
Love you, dolls.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ring-a-ling-ding-a-ling. I think someone called for Dr. Dose.
All right, Dials. On this episode of Dr. Dose, we are going to have Dr. Madison prescribe today's prescription.
All right. Let's go, Doctor.
Here we go.
My name is Lisa from Baton Rouge, and I met this really great masculine presenting girl. And even though we connected well on our date, when we got in the bedroom, she was a pillow princess. Now I am completely turned off. How do I approach this situation?
Sounds like we've got symptoms of surprise, right? Definitely disappointment, I think, too.
Yeah.
And also like a little bit of libido loss. So yeah, what do you guys think? What would you say?
Definitely a turnoff. Definitely a turnoff. I don't think that I would be continuing on with that. I mean.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think that she definitely needs to communicate to the person about what she feels, what she expected. And I think a lot of times when we're like getting with somebody for the first time, we don't have those conversations enough. So we are often surprised when we, you know, end up having sex with them and whatnot. So just maybe taking the time to talk to this person about her expectations, because maybe that particular individual just felt like tonight they wanted to be lazy. It may not be something they always do. So
yeah.
But is that okay to be lazy on the first time, though? You're not supposed to be lazy on the first time.
What if you accidentally got too drunk?
I got a point to prove that first time.
Some people just like, maybe she liked her lips and was like, I just wanted to feel you tonight. We don't know what she was feeling. So communicate. Talk about your expectations and your boundaries. Then make a decision.
Fully agree.
Well, and why not just tell her in the moment, like, oh, this is not, I would like it to go a different way.
Ooh, that's hard.
Is that possible?
That's
like,
hard.
Well,
that's tough. That's a tough conversation.
But she already had the sex, so now at this point, she just got to talk.
I'm like,
but next time, talk about it in the bed. Like, hey, I can't think.
But is that something that you can do, though? Can you be with a pillow princess that's someone that's very masculine? No.
Well, I can be with a pillow princess if they was feminine. That ain't happening.
But I'm like, is Lisa she's seeing it, it's happening.
why are we not saying, oh, what if, could we, how about, let's try.
Yeah.
Lisa, you are also compliant in this if we're not communicating. If you're just like, oh man, boo, thumbs down. You didn't say something, girl?
Just let it happen.
Like, you're being a communication pillow princess, let's be honest, Lisa.
Absolutely. Very valid.
Don't just sit and let it happen. You're right. Say something. Switch positions. Do something.
Send a signal.
Just lay down on your back.
So it sounds like my prescription is communicate. We could have communicated during, we can communicate after, and honestly, communication is the key to most things, and most healthy relationships, even if they're not, serious. It doesn't matter. If you can just communicate while it's happening, maybe this person would have acted differently and would have had a different reaction.
So true.
Sure.
All right,
Dr. Maddie.
Lisa, looks like you have your prescription, so it's time to go get it filled.
Shh, it's Pillow Talk.
Welcome, dolls, to Pillow Talk. And tonight, what are we going to talk about, babe? We're talking about intimacy.
Intimacy is so important, baby.
It's very important because sometimes in relationships, you lose focus of your sex life. You get so caught up in work, children, families. I mean, it's so much to where you can lose focus with your sex life.
You can. I think, and I honestly think that intimacy is way more important than sex. Because intimacy, it allows us to connect in so many different ways, so many unique ways, because it comes in so many different forms. So
and it's a good thing if you can have that intimacy connection with your partner, because that lets you know that your relationship is deeper than just sex.
Absolutely, because sometimes sex can clog things. It can make things foggy. You can think you have an excellent relationship, a positive relationship, and then you take away the sex, and you're like, I want out.
Yeah. Because you don't have any type of communication. You don't have any type of mental connection with your partner. And intimacy is going to give you that connection mentally with your partner. So set aside some time to have those intimate conversations. Touch your partner, kiss your partner, rub on them a little bit, caress them a little bit or a lot. Make them feel like they're wanted. Make them feel special. Make them feel sexy. Give them all of that.
And know that intimacy comes in different forms. So I can show my wife intimacy through spiritual praying over her. I can show her intimacy through buying her a gift or just my touch. So it comes in a lot of different forms.
Yeah, or making your plate for dinner.
I love that. That's my favorite intimacy right there, when you bring me my plate.
No, you just spoiled, baby. You just spoiled. But yeah, different things like that. Everybody has their own perception of what intimacy is and what gives them pleasure. And if you're lacking certain things in your relationship, like sex, intimacy would definitely bring that on, So just figure out what it is that you enjoy. Figure out what makes you happy. Figure out what makes you feel good that you expect from your partner. And start from that point. And you'll be fine. But intimacy is very important.
So, Dials, we challenge you to figure out unique ways to show intimacy to your partner. And that will definitely lead to a better sex life.
Absolutely.
Dolls everywhere unite. It's the call to Kiki.
Hey dolls, well we have been so delighted to have you all as guests, both of you, and would you guys like to shout out anything to our dolls for URLs, social, ways to contact you?
So you all can follow me online, on Instagram at Sex and Sensuality Show. As Sex, the letter N, Sensuality Show. Would love for you to follow me because we do have an upcoming burlesque show on March the 26th from 8 to 10 p.m. So look us up and buy those tickets.
Nice. And for me, my personal Instagram is at Maddie K Made It, MADI, the letter K, MADEIT. And my professional Instagram is at madison.k.beauty.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you all so much for being here.
for coming.
I'm so grateful to be here.
Clay, are you going to give us our call to Kiki today?
Yes. So our call to Kiki today, dolls, is get with a group of your friends, whether it's your good girlfriends, your good boyfriends, and just have those sexual conversations. Find out interesting things that they're doing in their sex life. That can broaden your sex life with your partner. You can learn new things, and it allows you to open up your horizon to trying different things. So, dolls, I encourage you to make it happen. Live free. Please yourself, or let somebody else please you.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much. I thank you, dolls, for listening today or for watching. It has been a pleasure to be here with these ladies on Dash of Lesbian. We hope that you can check out the next one the next time it comes out. If you are following us or looking at us or listening, please subscribe. Please comment.
Yes.
We'd really appreciate it. We thank you, and we remind you to love yourself, love others, and don't forget to smile.
Bye.